Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade
Get
and the
in the
City,
City.
y'all. I'm your girl, Sharice.
It's Nels.
And y'all, we are jumping back into the fan favorite that is the 90-Day Fiancé, the other way,
The other.
right? So, welcome back, Shade Squad. We know it's been a while. We skipped a season on you only because I couldn't do Angela and Michael. I just couldn't. I heard about it. I kept my ear to the streets because y'all know that's what I do. But I'm actually happy I didn't. I took off 16, 18 weeks of my life in a 4-part reunion that was unnecessary. And just, yeah. So thank you for the break. And hopefully we will get you guys all back and hopefully gain some new fans of our 90-day reviews. So yes, guys, let's just hop right into it. Oh, let's
Let's
get
get
into it. Let's get shady. With our first fool, we meet Chris. She's 40 from Haleyville, Alabama. I just imagine that's how it's said. And that's probably how they say it.
I
But
think.
she said she's going on 40. No, she's 40, going on 20, because that's how she feels.
That's
And
how
she thinks she looked like that too.
she thinks she just dressed like that.
She has a love for onesies. So maybe her mentality is 20. That's
You
what
know
it's
what?
giving
It's
me.
not even giving 20. She went to the whole mailbox in a fairy costume. That's giving 5.
let's let's not be judgy. Everybody's different. Now, she lets us know growing up in the Bible Belt, it's difficult being accepted when you're different. So, dressing up is a way that, she feels she can be herself. She has 2 kids and has been married twice. And she went online looking for love when she met her boo, Jamie, who is Venezuelan but lives in Bogota, Colombia. Now, this is they're both their first open and serious relationship with another woman. They've been together over the phone for a year, and Chris can't wait any longer. She's decided she's moving to Bogota. Okay. Her kids come over to help her move, and she lets us know she's living with her mom. Now, I got to stop. Let's pause for a second because we're going to see this again. Why are we moving places and moving people over and we're living with parents and things like
I
I
I
never understand that and why are these people always from the back deep of the neck of the woods? Like,
you know what? I thought the same thing when I first seen it, but then later on in the episode, it basically explains why she's living with her mom.
okay, I'm gonna cut her some slack there.
So
But
I mean, I was like, okay.
we done seen some others that they ain't got no
Mm-hmm.
excuse.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so her kids come over, they're trying to help her move out. And she plans on marrying Jamie 9 days after she arrives in Colombia. Her kids have concerns and think she's a little bit crazy. And she starts to get emotional because she felt that she almost lost Jamie 6 months ago due to the C of the 19. Now, she feels like this is what she should be doing. So then I'll let Nels introduce Jamie.
So over in Bogota, we meet Jamie, who, like Trish told us, she's 30. She's from Venezuela. She lives in Bogota, and she's trying on lingerie for her new boo. Okay, she says that she left about 5 years ago because it was very difficult to live there. There's no opportunities. People living on the street. They had no food, and they're closed-minded when it comes to gay relationships. Now, she says she has dated men in the past, but she don't like sex with men. They ain't never give her no orgasm.
She said, "Sorry, guys, I you just ain't doing it."
Listen, some of them just don't know how to do it right, and some of them you just got to learn on your own how to get it on your own. Okay, you just got to use the tool and know how to use the tool yourself.
Okay.
Anyways, she says that all her friends are married, have kids, and she felt like something was wrong with her until a friend told her, you know what, she should go to therapy. And the therapist helped her realize that she was a lesbian. She says it was very difficult accepting that she was a lesbian, but her friends always supported her. And she says that, her parents are super conservative and she doesn't believe that they would accept it, although they do, love and care about her. She says she's also never had an official girlfriend, but her friends basically told her, look, go online, do some international dating, boo.
Okay.
That is how she met Chris. She said Chris is amazing. She's everything she wants in one person. After talking for 1 month, Chris told her that she wanted to marry her. So she's excited for Chris to move there in a few days.
Y'all see the foolery, right? Ain't none of this making no sense.
No. She's excited for Chris to move there in a few days and for them to finally meet in person and get married. Yeah. So she called her friends Andrea and Maria on FaceTime back home in Venezuela.
And they trying to talk some sense into her, because what we did know is they both done some stupid shit.
Right?
Are major red flags on both sides. And neither one of them should be moving or doing anything but trying to figure out if they need to be together.
So basically, she called to let them know that Chris was moving there in a few days. And of course, they're concerned because, apparently Chris went missing on this girl, left her, for days. Then,
I think she said Chris disappeared 20 days before her birthday and then just reappeared
on her birthday
out of nowhere.
And was just talking about, I was having a lot of problems. What?
You would have had a bigger problem when you came back. If you were smart, you would have stayed away and stayed hidden.
Poor little Jamie. She's like, well, nothing's happened ever since then. So I guess she think they good now. She says she's optimistic that things will be better when Chris arrives.
Let me tell you why Jamie thinks she good now, right? Because Jamie said, oh, two can play that game.
Yes, she did.
Okay. So when you was gone for 20 days, guess what I did? Because what you won't do, somebody else will.
Well, also
found her a friend with no D at the end, a friend in Texas.
There was definitely no D at the end. Jamie, she tried to make us feel bad for her and stuff. She said that her grandmother died around that time. She was depressed and desperate. And, she wasn't hearing back from Chris. So she said she started texting some girl over in Texas. And she just felt like, she rebelled.
I'm mad at her.
But she ain't talking. First of all, what you can do is be doing all of that. And I'm over here paying your bills, though.
Oh, that part.
She says regardless, they've had their ups and downs and they've gotten through it together. So she knows that she's the one and she's ready to marry her.
Now, I didn't get the mother's name. Nels, was you on the job?
I think Mona.
Mona. So Mona comes to talk to Chris. We learned that, as Nels stated in the beginning, she had built this dream home. Apparently, this girl out here buying the block. I guess maybe property ain't that expensive in Haleyville. It's not Huntsville, it's Haleyville. So, maybe it's a little cheap over there because it's not the #1 city in America. But, the house burnt down. So she's trying to rebuild and trying to do as much as she can before she leaves for Bogota, because she'd like to rent it out so she can have some money. We learned that she used to be the manager of a security company and worked security at a school. So basically her going from working 2 jobs to not having any jobs is obviously an uncomfortable position for her. And I can definitely understand that. So her mother was shocked by the revelation that her daughter was into women. Although she's a woman of faith.
No. Into women, and that she was leaving to go marry a woman, all in one conversation.
Oh, I didn't catch that part.
Good. Yeah. She was like, it was a lot for me to take in. She's telling me she's a lesbian and she's moving to another country to marry this woman, all in one conversation.
Well, you were using your listening ears. So, So yeah, she basically says that even though she's a woman of faith, she believes that it's not her place to judge and wants her daughter to be happy. And I thought that was super dope. Her mother discusses, now this is where it went left. Can we add anything else to the pot? And I'm not making fun of it, but this is a lot, y'all. It is a lot going on. Okay. Then we find out poor Chris has narcolepsy.
At least they ain't pulling a Destiny. Okay. They letting us all in their business.
I guess.
They said we gonna give you reality TV.
I guess. So, she said, yeah, and the effects, her mother's like, I'm just scared. Does she know about the effects that it has on
This
you?
girl just be falling asleep at the dinner table.
Right. And she's afraid Jamie's just going to use her until her money runs out. And then she tells us how she knows about the other woman that Jamie was talking to in Texas. And the woman actually reached out to her, texted her, as Nails was saying, and told her that, basically Jamie was just using her and she never really had she never had it. She never had it. So
and she was working the whole time because apparently Chris was paying her bills at the time that she had and she basically was working the whole time and just collecting the money from Chris.
So she believes that, but she's willing to take accountability. And she thinks, well, because I did ghost her, I guess I understand. And she feels in her heart that, they're meant to be together. And her mama worries that it's a scam.
Mm-hmm.
Now, give your prediction. What do we think about Chris and
Girl, you know how they work. Everybody gonna work out in the beginning up until 2-3 seasons later, and then you find out they don't.
No, I think she gonna end up going home by the end of this episode, and it's not
Chris.
Yeah, that's my prediction. I think they're gonna break up before the show ends.
I think it's gonna already make it super stressful with the fact that she's going over there with no job, just like somebody else on this season. But we're talking about Jamie and Chris. So
right now, so your prediction is it's a no. It's a no for you. They're not gonna.
Up until when? Up until what? The reunion?
To the end of the like the reunion. If they're still together at the reunion. I'm not saying a lifetime. Like prime example, if you would have asked me a long time ago about Jenny and Submit, I would have said absolutely yes. I think because I just felt like for whatever reason they really love and they still together.
I'm gonna say for them to the reunion, I'm gonna say yes. I'm not saying that they're gonna want to stick together, but I think they're gonna have to do. But I think that they're gonna have struggles where they can't really separate. But I think that they're gonna stick together. So you think
Shade Squad? Make sure y'all drop down in the comments. Let us know what you think about what is it, Chris and Jamie.
And you said no, right?
Yes. No for you. Yes. And if you haven't already, but yeah, make sure that you've hit the like button.
Oh, and the subscribe button.
Thank you. Jesus, I'm talking about them not being on their job and you ain't on yours. Now, our next fool is Danielle. She is 42 from New York.
You said we ain't being mean. Look at you.
She's a fool. Oh. We got to call it what it is. So she has a love-hate. I did like that with that. She said.
What she explained about New York?
She said she has a love-hate relationship with New York. She describes it as a toxic boyfriend that you can't get away from. And I said, you know what? It really is, because as much as I'd be like, oh, the rats and the da-da-da-da and da-da-da, I keep wanting to go back and get a dirty water hot dog. It is what it is. So she loves the great skincare and says, but she hates the traffic and just city living in general. Now, we learned she's a teacher, but runs a yoga business on the side. She met her love, Johan, who is 32 and lives in the DR. And he's a personal trainer at the resort where she was staying in the Dominican Republic when she took a trip. And after seeing him, she fell for him instantly. Now, I think Nels may have some background on this. I didn't know, but apparently she came from another show.
Yeah.
another TLC show, and I guess they moved them to this franchise.
Mm-hmm. I just know that they were supposed to be getting married. She was introduced to the friends, and I think they were getting married the next day after she was introduced, like that next morning. And the friends didn't even know that they were getting married. Like, and she got pissed off because she's like, these are your friends. So if you're not even telling them like that you're getting married, you clearly can't be taking me serious, which I think nobody really was. I think, listen, I don't really think, especially from their history, I don't think that this is, I can tell you a no already, especially with
Look, I was gonna sing a song, but it doesn't apply because it's the opposite. Say use your heart and not your right. But no, that's what she's doing. And she needs to stop. So now, because she's definitely using her eyes. Now, so yeah, so basically they've had issues. Or no, I'm sorry. So after spending a few days together, she goes back to New York. She goes back to DR in 6 weeks. He proposes, as Nels was talking about. They had issues with differences in religion, finances, and even where they would live. And I guess that's the biggest point of contention because him being from DR, and that obviously maybe not the wealthiest place, wants to come to America and try to achieve that American dream, as we see most people on this franchise. And she's at a point in her life where she's tired of the city living. She wants to live on the beach all day and live her best life. And yeah, that's obviously going to be an issue. So her friends are scared that he is a Sankey Panky, which is a man who works on a resort and hopes to meet an American. I said, well, they got a name for it. Okay. I thought it was
I've heard it before. No, I've heard it before on something else. I heard it on the Chantel. That's where I heard it.
That sounded like something Karen would say.
Yeah.
Her mama said it, didn't she?
And he's from DR too.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Danielle goes to meet up with her friends who seem like they have a lot more sense than she does, Lizette and Sandra. Now, she doesn't get to see most of her friends too often because she's too busy going back and forth between DR to be, be with her boo. Or her husband. Let me change that. That's her husband.
It's a husband.
Okay. So she lets them know she plans to go down and set up things logistically and then she plans to move. And they ask her what she plans to do there, and she says she likes the beach. And they're like, well, what happened when you get tired of the beach? And she's like, I can do yoga on the beach. And they're like, well, how are you going to support yourself financially? I'll just eat mangoes every day. So she's just going to live off the land. This is why I said she a fool, because I refuse to believe that you go from, now don't get me wrong, but 4,000 is a lot of money for an apartment in New York, which we find out later on that that's what she pays in rent.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's really the case, I mean, I understand rent is high, but I know you can live in cheaper places, which leads me to believe that you live somewhere nice. The building that you live in is nice for 4,000 a month. Okay. I refuse to believe that you're going to give up that niceness and go to eating mangoes and shit and being domesticated. But okay.
What bothered me is the fact that they're like, what are you going to do financially? And she's like, oh, well, I can teach yoga on the beach or do Zumba online. If that was a plan, shouldn't you be working on that already? You're going to wait till you get over there with maybe just your savings and then try to make it work.
That's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. I think he probably needs to be like maybe a little bit more established too, because she does say that, anytime they're together, he don't even look for no money.
Mm-hmm.
He don't even think about paying for nothing. It's always her. But if you know that and you know that's how your relationship rocks, why would you go move to his country depending on him? Because that's what
my thing is. So that what you just said, plus all the struggles that they were having before getting married.
He thinks she's low-key witch, y'all.
Why did you still get married?
That part. Why did you marry him? One. And again, he thinks she's a witch, y'all. Okay.
Yeah, because he's Christian and she believes like is it like a Hindu belief or
No,
something?
it's an African.
Oh, African. That's right. It was an
And I'm
African.
not saying, I'm sage and da, da, da. I know things have different effects, so I'm not judging or so again, that was not to offend anybody, but in his eyes, from his Christian perspective, he views that as witchcraft. Okay. Um, so I don't understand. Like Nell said, I don't even know how they made it down the aisle or down the
Yeah,
beach.
she literally said that they were complete opposites. And they can never see eye to eye. I mean, like, because he's super tall and because they can't agree on anything.
So they again try to reiterate, how do you plan to support yourself? And she says she's going to manifest it. Now,
I think my
God,
response would have been the same as theirs. I would have just stopped. I'm wasting my breath at this point. Why am I still talking to you?
Y'all know I'm big on law of attraction, all that other stuff, and manifest. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna need you to manifest some up reality, okay? Reality is reality. And 2 + 2 got to make 4, okay? Or at least 3 + 1. But something got to get you there. And the math ain't mathing. So
her friends basically tell her, look, like they're super worried that she needs to be more prepared. Life ain't just sundresses and walks on the beach.
Woo! Ain't that a word?
Right.
Basically, she lets them know that he's still under the belief that he's coming over to America. And she hasn't let him know that she hasn't applied for the visa. How y'all think this gonna work out? And
after telling him that she would. Because they were like, so does he know that you? Oh, I mean, yeah, I think so.
She tried to make it seem like, oh, I didn't lie. I just didn't tell him. Okay. So she heads out to DR to meet Johan. Now he picks her up at the airport and they're discussing their plans. I'm sorry. She's anxious to discuss their plans and also break the news to him that they won't be moving to New York. Now, he doesn't really speak English, but I thought it was so beautiful and this really touched my heart. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is another thing that kind of made me I'm not really feeling her. Because we see this boy trying to teach himself English in his spare time. He's like, I want to have more opportunities in the United States. And he's looking forward to his wife returning and is even a bit nervous. He talks about how beautiful he thinks she is. And despite their different cultures, they fell in love. And then she goes on to tell production that she has to explain to Johan they won't be going to New York, but he can't understand what she's saying.
He was like, what?
¿Cómo? ¿Qué? Well, yeah. She hit a Keisha Cole. She said, I changed my mind.
Basically.
So on the way from the airport, Danielle decides to bring up the subject of renting an apartment for long.
No. What I thought was crazy was they're on the way back from the airport. She's talking about how beautiful it is there.
Oh yeah, she's gaslighting him.
How great the beach looks, and oh my God, I just love it here. I just want to stay here forever. Then she want to talk about, I don't want to go back to the US, but my thing is, you was direct in telling this man that this is what you was gonna do after y'all got married. Y'all was gonna take your time, and you was gonna apply for it and stay.
Well, I'm not trying to be a butthole. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but I'm not trying to be a butthole. She had to know he was only, not that he was only, but a part of him marrying her was the green card. It's just like Michael. It's just like Michael and Angela. The only reason he dealt with her for so long was she was dangling a green card in his face. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's valid. But guess what? She doesn't give a damn. She basically tells him like, it's too expensive. I don't want to go back. The US is not what you think it is. It's not an American dream. That's not real. And basically in the confessional, she says that he can't go without me. So regardless of what he say or what he thinks.
She went hard body. She said, I don't care. Fuck, you don't like it. You can't do it without me. Now that's messed up. That's messed up.
Look, that's why I was like, shoot, we thought this whole time he was manipulating her.
Right. So then
What
basically he tells her that, that's not what he led or she led him to believe, that, they were gonna stay there. And she said that she explains that she mentioned moving during, when all that was going on.
can we
But
say
now
the
that's
vid? Can we
over,
say the vid?
the vid. But now that it's over, everything is more expensive. So he feels she's making excuses and is not,
It's
doesn't.
not more expensive. She no, she
Oh,
she's
she's gaslighting him. She's
she's she's
gaslighting him.
she's basically saying
And
that
I hope he learns English real quick. So when by the time the reunion comes and he's able to watch this back, he can see just how much she was like. The first English word I need him to learn is gaslight.
I think what she was saying was that, oh, during the vid everybody left, and now
Right.
that it calmed down everybody came back. So everything's just super expensive. But you knew that before when you told him.
Who left? Only people that had money. Again, that girl got some money.
The issue that I'm having is she's acting like the price just happened, like it was just now $4,000, and that was only for rent, and she couldn't afford nothing else. But you knew what it was when you told him you was gonna sign him, when you was gonna apply for the visa.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Now all of a sudden it's too expensive. You knew that already. You done got this man to marry you. Look, let me say something.
Under
Look,
false pretenses.
and watch. It wouldn't surprise me if
And if it was the other way around, y'all would be dogging this man. Just being honest. So then this is another part that I didn't like about her. She tells him in the car, she brings up the fact that he doesn't even know English, and it's been 8 months.
Especially after we just saw him trying to practice.
Right. And she said, you don't know English, it's expensive, and people work too hard. And he feels like Danielle's ruining his dream and basically has just flipped it and reversed it.
But he's basically saying like it's the same thing there. He was like, people work, the money that they make, they can't do anything with it. It's just
day by
day to day. So he's like, there's struggles everywhere, which he's right.
And she basically says that regardless of how he feels, he can't get to America without her.
My thing is this though. Why does she keep on saying we're not moving to the US and the US is like only New York? I don't want to move back to the US because New York is too expensive. New York is too expensive. There's other places inside the US that are not as expensive as New York. If you're willing to live in another country,
she can move to Haleyville.
I can't with you. I cannot with you.
And they have, what? If she can move it, well, actually, you know what? Back in the day, but I was gonna say if this was 10 years ago, that 4,000 her money would be long in Florida, but now that's not the case.
In some parts of Florida, not in Miami, but in some parts of Florida, and she can still be by a beach.
On the beach, right?
So no, that's like I just kept on saying, like, she's like, oh, I don't want to move back to the US. The New York is too expensive. Boo. New York is not the only place to live in the US.
I'm gonna tell y'all now, Shade Squad.
I think this is a no.
She's rubbing me. She's really rubbing me the wrong way. She cute. I'm gonna give her that. She cute, but Danielle's rubbing me the wrong way, like real talk. So it's a no for me. I hope that he wises up and honestly he leaves her, because I feel like it's a lot of gaslighting and manipulation going on here, especially on her end.
And then watch if he does. Watch her try to say, "Oh, well, then really you only married me to
me, right?"
But you knew that was part of the. You knew it was.
You knew what it was when you signed up.
Exactly. So Rishi is the Indian Jesus.
Okay.
Or looks like looks like the Indian.
I was gonna say,
Jesus.
Don't disrespect my Jesus like that.
He's 32. He's from Jaipur, India, and he spends an hour and a half doing his damn hair, y'all.
Okay.
He said he's the only one in his city with this long, luscious curls. Now, he says that he's basically brains and brawn. Okay, he is not just good looks. He says that he has a degree in law, and he also has his master's. He used to study law, but he felt like a caged bird and he wanted to be free. So he shifted into his fitness career. And then everybody in the fitness career, everybody's telling him, look, sorry, you could be a model. You look good. And, he was like, that wasn't my dream. But, I did it and, I slam dunked it. So he's doing his fitness, he's doing modeling. And basically he's like honey to all the bees.
Yes, he is.
He said he ain't got to go after nobody. He ain't chasing
they
nothing.
come for him.
Exactly. Now, he says that he met his fiance, Jen, who's 42 and lives in Stillwell, Oklahoma. I don't know how these people in all these, you know what?
What it is? It's because I guess you got a lot of time on your hands. And so, you got time to spend online and talk to somebody. What else are you really doing?
Well, she on a farm. So, I mean, I would think she's busy all day.
When you sitting up at night by yourself, I don't think she don't look like she hitting the club.
Well, basically, like I said, she lives on a farm with her family. But she says she's been all over. She's a nomad. Okay. She's lived in some major cities. She's done that. Okay. Now she says that she has a history of choosing the wrong partner because they were good looking and charismatic. I said, well, why would you not feel that this is the same situation?
Is she a fool?
And as far as long-term relationship, that stuff didn't work out. And then she met Rishi, which to me sounds like she's going right down the same alley. But now they met in the hotel lobby. Apparently he was there for modeling, showing off his pictures to her. And she was like, it's a hard pass for me. She thought he was a douchebag. But after they hung out for a few days as friends, she says she doesn't know where she can pinpoint it, but she fell for him. And a month later, he proposed. After she left, okay, she was planning on coming back, but then the vid hit, and she hadn't been back for 2 years. But now the borders are open, and she says she's taking her to India. Okay, she's
get that thing back.
Her brother Charles is not convinced that this is the best move for her. He reminds her at some point, he was dodging her calls. What's up with these people ghosting?
And yet y'all spending all this money to fly out there and see them.
She says, it's not a big deal really because the ghosting was in the beginning of their relationship. And,
ain't nobody paying attention to red flags around here.
She was feeling insecure at the time. And back then, if he wasn't texting or calling her back, she would send him these like videos expressing herself and crying and stuff. And why did they do that? They showed it. They showed the video of like her with the camera crying on the camera. So I wish you the best in life, girl.
That's why you don't record it. You just send it in a text.
These people ain't acting their age. I'm just gonna say.
Look, you heard me.
You said send it in a text.
I said you don't record it. You just send it in a text.
You mean a book?
That part. At least you can't say I didn't communicate.
You ain't the one. You the one that ain't communicating. How about when you reach back out to me, you blocked? He tells her that she's only been with him for less than 2 months, and it seems like a lot of risk to go to another country when her support system is here. He basically says, anytime she's upset or she needs support, that's where she comes back home to. And he feels that like she's, has a bad track record. And him not knowing anything about Rishi, he feels like this is a huge risk. And basically, yeah, she says, she knows she's made some bad choices in the past, but she thinks it's different this time. What are you thinking?
Believe it or not, I actually think her and Rishi are gonna work. And it's not because of I think that for some reason, and Shade Squad, drop down in the comments, tell me if they give me, and I hate to compare, but they do kind of give me Jenny and Sumit.
Is it because she's in India?
No, it's not. But he seems like, and this is no shade to her. It's almost like This is no shade to Jenny. This is my perspective. It's an opinion. I would never, or at least in my eyes, I would never see Submit being crazy attracted to Jenny, but he is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the way that he loves, and I see something similar. And I feel like, and granted, we haven't really got to know them yet or dive in their relationship, but I kind of see like I don't think that what's this girl's name? I'm sorry, I didn't even get her name.
Jen.
Oh, my notes say Tara. See, anyway, so Jen is
Look, you clearly knew you was wrong, no, because you
right.
couldn't forget her name.
But Jen is definitely not like the, what is it? The new hotness. She's not the new hotness, but he clearly appreciates it. It doesn't give a damn what I think. He likes it. And I think that that's dope. And so for me, it's going to be a yes. I think that they will actually still be together. I think he actually likes her.
I'm going to say yes as well, but I think it's because it's new. I think it's because they haven't really had too much problems. So if we're only talking about making it to the reunion, it's still kind of fresh. So they really haven't had any issues and they'll still be getting to know each other. So it's a yes for me.
All righty. So we meet Gabe, 31.
32.
Florida. I actually know where that is.
32.
Oh, is he 32? Did he change? I thought it said 30. Well, whatever. He's in his 30s. And I'm not even trying. Can we say he?
I would say he.
Okay.
Yeah, I said.
And I'm not trying to be funny, Shade Squad. I want to, because they didn't put it. So I don't know. I was struggling taking my notes because I want to use the proper pronouns and all that other stuff. I want to be respectful, and I don't think he ever stated it. So I was on the fence.
No, he said he's a whole man. He said he's
okay. Okay.
He's.
So what we learned, and the reason why I'm dancing around this, for those who haven't watched it yet, Gabe is transgender. Used to be a woman. Or born a woman, but now is a man. He's a businessman. He makes briefs for men with a built-in bulge, which
I thought that was
very smart.
Genius.
He found a niche market, and he said, "I'm going to target."
And he clearly making some money off of it.
Yeah, he's clearly making money.
I thought that
that was smart.
I thought that was genius. He actually explains why he did it.
He said, "I'm a businessman." Okay.
Businessman, okay.
So
he actually says that, like, I guess, when you're a trans man, like, you have to wear, if you want there to be a bulge.
Thank you for breaking it down, because I didn't want to go ahead.
Yeah, he said you have to wear a packer, which is like a fake lip penis. And then you have to wear a harness to hold it in, and then wear underwear, and it's like a lot of work. And sometimes, it can fall out. So
I will say this was very informal.
I loved it. Like,
because and shout out to TLC, because you was kind of switching it up and showing, but it's also education for those like us who have no clue.
Mm-hmm. He actually says one time he was swimming in the pool, and his sock was
floated away
behind him. So this is where I guess he came up with the idea to do these underwear with, these molds. He says the molds, I guess, he makes them himself. He makes the molds himself. He actually showed it, and he sews it into the underwear, so he has a bulge, which, I mean, clearly he don't need a bulge no more, but
right. But for those that need it.
Yes, I thought it was super dope. I thought that was a great idea. So basically, he says that he sews the foam in himself, but he gets the underwear manufactured. And about a year ago, he went to Colombia to meet with a new supplier, and that is where he met Isabel. And it was instant chemistry.
Isabel's beautiful.
Yes, she is. He says they went out, they had a great time, but
she didn't know he was trans.
She says that she told him that, I ain't going down on the first night. And he said he was relieved because she didn't know he was trans. Now he says, which I thought was cute, he goes out into the street and does his own pride parade. It's like a one-man pride parade. And apparently after the vid, they don't do it
He
anymore.
likes to get naked and show off his balls.
Yes, he does. He got a nice body. He got a nice little body. He goes out into the street and he says, like, it makes, he does it to make people happy. It makes him feel good. He does it when he feels good. He likes to put smiles on people's faces.
Right.
Now, he says that it's been a hard life being trans because it's something you feel your entire life. He also says that his cousin had a friend that used to dress like a boy, and he didn't even know like that was like a thing, like that's something that you could do. So right. He says that he started off with like wearing basketball shorts, like every day, because that's what he felt comfortable in. And at 16, he came out as lesbian, but he wasn't like educated in being a different gender or
right.
how versed it was. So, he just thought,
And then I guess maybe that's when YouTube came out because he started watching a whole
bunch.
Yeah,
he said that he watched YouTube, and it was at 22. He saw videos of a guy transitioning, and he said he went through all of it, and he just knew he knew he had to do it. He says that he told Isabel the next morning after he met her that he was trans, and she said, "It's okay. I see you as a man."
I thought that was dope.
It was. And then a couple months after that, he started renting an apartment in Colombia. She moved out of her family's house and moved in with him. And he's about to move down there permanently, and he plans to propose to her. Now, he sits down with his friend Keon, who is someone he met in a trans group. And
yeah, it was like a support group.
Yes, trans support group. And also,
and based off, and I may be assuming, and this is just my assumption, Shade Squad, based off the way the friend was talking, it gives me the vibe he's also transgender.
Yeah, because he was like they ain't jocking us. Yeah,
right. Okay.
Yeah, I think he's trans as well.
Okay.
But he also joins in with the one-man pride parade. He says that he's more than happy for him to be going to Colombia, and he just wants to make sure he's going to be okay because he doesn't know what type of support he'll be getting down there and how the community is, and he just doesn't want his friend to be mistreated. Now, Gabriel reveals that her mom and dad don't know. And
they love him. Apparently, they are like obsessed with him. They love him.
Yes, but they don't know that he's trans. And, he feels really bad keeping this from them and wants advice on how to tell them. So Keon tells him to reveal that he's trans before asking for their daughter's hand in marriage. Basically, so that he knows that he's accepted for who he is first.
Right.
Before asking to marry her. And of course, Gabriel is concerned
to reject him.
Yeah, he's concerned that they won't accept him, and knows that if they don't, it's going to affect his relationship that he has with Isabel. Now Gabriel is going to get yatted, y'all.
Okay.
He got out to Colombia. He gonna get yatted, so she knows it's real. But then Gabe's sister Monica pops up. Apparently, the one tatting him is her dude.
Okay.
And he snitched him out. All right.
Because apparently this is what he do. This is how he show his love.
His love.
He just
right.
He out here Pete Davidson. He'll just throw on his body just cause.
Yeah. He says that him and his sister bump heads, but they love each other. It's out of love. But she does get in his ass about him getting another woman's tattoo on him, another woman's name on him. She's like, so what about the other one? What you gonna do with that? He's like, yeah, he's just gonna cover it up. He's just gonna black it out for me. She's like, okay, so are we doing this to show how much you love her or what? He's like, no, just because I want to. She's like, oh, okay, so does this mean that you love this one more than the last one? Like, are we gonna just continue to do this? And yeah, she's not letting up. But basically she feels clearly that he is making a huge mistake. And then she lets him know, like, sir, you're the one that told me that she wasn't gonna date nobody that had kids anymore. What happened to that?
Mm.
And he's like, well, it's okay because her kids are older. They're
And
11 and
apparently her kids
16.
really vibe with him.
Yeah. I think the daughter is 16 and the son is 11.
Yeah, that's right.
Um, and she's like, and he's like, it's not really for me. Like, the mom, she's the one, she's the mother and the provider. She's like, no, sir, you're the provider. You pay all the bills.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, she says that she doesn't want to be devil's advocate, but this is a pattern.
Mm.
And he goes in with rose-colored glasses, and everything is all perfect, and then they ends up being crazy. And he says that he feels that she's as invested as he is, and she clearly trusts him because she let him around her kids. And regardless, he says that
So did Jimena. That's her name. Jimena.
Mhm.
And Mike. That's what a Mike and Jimena. Yep.
Yeah, we knew that was bad.
Mm.
But basically he says that she's the one, and he grown. He gonna make his own decisions, make his own choices. And he said, if it don't work out, I'll be back here. So what you think?
Yeah.
What you think?
Um, I think that she really likes him. I think that they have a good vibe. It seems like I think if they don't work out, it's gonna be because of family issues. I don't think it's gonna be because of them. Because it sounds like she's already accepted him. He already done bought her a place. It sounds like their life is pretty much set up, but it's set up based off of them not knowing everything. And if, like I said, if things go to hell, it's because he shares this and they don't accept it.
I think you're right.
So my answer is yes,
Mhm.
but I think that by the time we get to the reunion, we're gonna see the family probably going back and forth with them. Like I don't think the family is gonna be super accepting.
Where's she at again?
Only because it seems like it's been a while and he held this back for a minute.
Where is she at again?
Bogota, I thought.
I mean, I don't know, because they said that Bogota is pretty accepting with stuff like that.
Oh no, I'm sorry. She's not in Bogota. She's from where Griselda Blanco's from, Medellin.
Oh,
I think it's a little bit different. I think that's a little bit more like, and I don't get me lying. I know Bogota is like a city, you know what I mean? Like a major city.
yeah.
I think Medellin might be a little bit smaller.
Okay. Um, I don't know. I feel like it's a yes for me. Um,
Mhm.
I can understand why you feel like it's kind of like Jimena and Mike. It's the same type of setup, but at least Gabe is attractive. Gabe got a little swag. Gabe is fun. Gabe ain't living with his parents.
Oh, no, I was saying it says Medellin is the capital of Colombia's mountainous province. So it's still like city, but it's like in the mountains. It's not like,
Mhm.
yeah.
I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be okay. Um, I mean, listen,
Drop
I
down
don't
in
know.
the comments if y'all from
They, they
Medellin.
didn't they didn't really introduce Isabel, but I mean,
Hola.
I feel like Gabe is providing everything that a woman would want. And um, like I said, Gabe got swag, Gabe is attractive. It's not like
Right.
Mike. So, maybe she if her family don't accept it, maybe she's just gonna have to visit them on the, see them on the flip side. Who knows? But I think they'll be all right.
Agreed. Well, I guess we met our first three new cast members of 90 Day Fiance the Other Way. Thank you so much, Shade Squad, for tuning in to our review. And please, if you have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button.
You comment
You subscribe.
and you hit the notification bell.
And y'all, I just want to let you know now, because it's getting into show busy season, okay? So, as y'all know, we got realizing we need to have a break. We love y'all. But please know 90 Day will never be on time, okay? Y'all I'm gonna get it 2-3 days after. We'll get to it when we can, but we are literally like back to back to back to back the whole weekend. So please understand, but we will get you the review because we know you want to, talk about what's going on and talk about these fools. So thank you guys. We appreciate you, and we will catch you sometime next week with our review of episode 2 of 90 Day Fiancé the Other Way. Have a good night.
Good night.